I'll talk about this for a second. We mentioned off the top of the show that, of course, this weekend we leave for Las Vegas. Me, Ray, Rob, and Olympic gold medalist Cody Miller. We're all going to go out and cover. You know, I think Jeff Snyder's going to join us from stuff too while we're out there.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
But we're all going to be heading out, going to Las Vegas for CinemaCon. And I thought it would be fun. Like, we're going to be doing a lot of live streaming, posting up a lot of videos, all that kind of stuff from CinemaCon as we always do. But I thought I would walk you guys through the schedule of CinemaCon so you got a rough idea about what is coming and when. Now, for those of you who don't know anything about CinemaCon, here's the Coles Notes. Wait, do you call it Coles Notes here?
It's Cliff Notes.
Cliff Notes.
Oh, here you
Cliff
can.
Notes.
The real thing in Canada is called Coles Notes.
Right.
Apparently you Americans call it Cliff Notes. So I'll tell you, but here's the Cole/Cliff Notes of CinemaCon. Basically what it is, it's a major convention of movie theater owners. I'm oversimplifying it, but it's basically a big convention of movie theater owners where they could come together every year for 4 days in Vegas. They talk about technology, trends, the business, all that kind of stuff. But as a big part of that, almost every year, just about every studio goes to it and puts on a big presentation, anywhere between an hour and a half to 2.5 hours, showing footage, bringing out the directors and the actors and the stars and all that kind of stuff for the movie theater owners to pump up and promote the films they have coming out over the next 12 months. And it's always a good time. Like, is there a week that goes by that we don't mention? Last April at CinemaCon, they showed us this. Like, they're showing us stuff for movies that are coming out in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months from now. It's amazing. Some full screenings. Sometimes they show us like 15 minutes of footage. Sometimes like 20 minutes of footage for movies that aren't even coming out for like 6 months. And they bring out the directors. Always a blast. So here's the schedule for CinemaCon this year. And so you guys can know when in particular you might want to check it out. Okay, so it officially begins on Monday. Now, we got to be there over the weekend to get everything registered and everything, but it officially begins on Monday. I don't think we're going to be going to the golf tournament. I don't think we're going to be participating in the golf tournament. CinemaCon registration. Then there's a panel or stuff with Cinema System Summit. Then there's the Admit One Hospitality Lounge. I always take advantage of that. Then there's the Independent Theater Owners Coalition Program. It's going to take place. We won't be doing that. Refreshing the Future, Navigating Gen Z Trends for Industry Insights for Movie Theaters and Empowering the Next Generation of Cinema. That's being presented by Coca-Cola. We won't be going to that. Although, I don't know, Ray may want to go to it. I don't know.
No, Coca-Cola.
I don't think so. So then at 5:15, Sony Pictures Entertainment and Barco invite you to a pre-event cocktail reception. We'll probably go to that. Because right after that, from 6:30 to 8:45, 2 hours and 15 minutes, Sony Pictures Entertainment kicks things off with an exclusive presentation highlighting its upcoming releases. That is the first big main thing as far as we're concerned for CinemaCon. It's going to be the big Sony presentation. Now, we're probably going to be dropping some little videos here and there throughout the day of the sights and sound, the poster reveals, the new standees, some of the concession stuff, whatever. We'll be putting up little things throughout the day, but then the big main thing, 6:30 to 8:45, a big Sony presentation to be followed by a big after party at Dre's nightclub across the street. We'll probably go to about a half hour of that. And then we're probably going to be live streaming Monday night. Remember, this is West Coast time, probably at around 10:30 p.m. So I know for those of you on the East Coast, that's going to be like, 1:30 in the morning? It's going to be late, but that's what the timing is. So we're probably going to go live at about 10:30 p.m. on Monday nights when we'll go live. Again, a few little videos earlier in the day, but 10:30 p.m. on Monday night is going to be the first major stream that we do. All right, let's move on to the Tuesday. As we go to Tuesday, we'll, of course, be participating in the Continental Breakfast because it's free. And then the Lionsgate presentation from 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Lionsgate will be doing a presentation. There are whispers that they might show us Ballerina, the new John Wick film.
Right.
It's possible. I don't know that it's likely, but it's a possibility, I suppose. should point out that while I am expecting more, as of right now, there's only one confirmed full screening, and that's How to Train Your Dragon. But anyway, let's go. So Lionsgate will be in the morning at ending at 11:30 a.m. We will then probably be doing our live stream covering the Lionsgate panel probably at around 12:15 in the afternoon. Keep your eyes on the channel for when we do that. Then, of course, the CinemaCon trade show happens. Always a lot of cool stuff. Tons of free food. We're probably going to show you some of the things that we see there. And then we've got at 4:30 p.m., Warner Brothers does its 2-hour presentation. Warner Brothers Pictures invites you to The Big Picture, a special presentation of its upcoming slate. Of course, they're going to show us footage of all the Warner Brothers stuff coming, including, I'm expecting James Gunn, David Cornsweet, who's playing Lois Lane? Rachel Brosnan?
Yeah, Brosnan.
Will all probably come out on stage. They'll probably show us 10, 15, 20 minutes of Superman. Expecting that, plus all the other Warner Brothers stuff they've got coming as well. That's going to be there. And then after that, we're going to be going to an after party. And then probably around 8:30 p.m., we will be doing our Warner Brothers live stream. So 2 big live streams that day, the Lionsgate presentation live stream and the Warner Brothers live stream. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Kikoff. Man, time flies, doesn't it? 1 minute, you're reminiscing about your last vacation, and the next, you're thinking about major life goals, like buying a car, getting that dream home. But if your credit isn't where it needs to be, those goals can feel out of reach. And that's where Kikoff comes in, the #1 credit building app in the App Store that makes it easy, affordable, and stress-free to build credit fast. And that's exactly why I love Kikoff. They give you a credit line for just building credit, not for spending. Your on-time payments get reported to the 3 major credit bureaus, helping you improve your credit mix and payment history, 2 of the biggest factors in credit growth. If your credit is under 600, you could see a jump of about 28 points in your first month. No credit check, no hidden fees, no interest, just smart credit building. Building credit can happen faster than you expect with Kikoff. Don't wait. Get your first month for just $1 at getkikoff.com/Campea. That's kickoff without the C. Get 80% off at getkikoff.com/Campea. Must sign up via getkickoff.com/Campea to activate offer. Offer applies to new customers first month only, subject to approval. Offer subject to change. Terms and conditions may apply. Point stat based on Equifax Vantage Score 3.0 changes for Kikoff users starting under 600 who made their first on-time payment between January of 2021 and March of 2024. Payment and credit activity outside Kikoff can have an impact on your credit. Individual results may vary. All right. So that ends up Monday. Now let's go to, that ends up Tuesday. Now let's go to Wednesday. On Wednesday, again, breakfast. 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., Angel Studios is doing their presentation. It's a 1-hour presentation. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not planning on going to it. I think if anybody else in the crew wants to go, like if I know Ray has been asking the whole time, when is the Angel Studios presentation?
Yeah.
When is the Angel Studios presentation?
Absolutely.
So one of our crew may go if they want, but we're not going to fully cover that one ourselves. Then at 9:30 a.m., Universal Pictures presents their full screening of the new live action How to Train Your Dragon. We will clearly we're going to rally and do a review of that movie after it's done. I am so excited for this film. I've loved the trailers for this. I think it's going to be awesome. So looking forward to seeing that. So that's going to be at around 11:30 in the morning. That'll end probably around noon. Oh, you know what? Here's what's going to happen. We are going to do a quick out of theater review of it. But we're not going to do a full review live stream of it till later, because then, Ray, at like 12, we've got lunch for my wife's birthday. It's my wife Anne's birthday on that day. So we've got lunch at this fancy restaurant. So we're going to be doing that. Anyway, so then after that, what's that, John?
I was just going to say, so just to clarify, they're not showing clips of How to Train.
No, they're showing the full movie. Yeah, it's
okay.
the full movie they're showing us. How to Train Your Dragon. So then the next big thing will be from 3:45 to 5:30 p.m. the Universal presentation. So Universal's giving us the screening earlier in the day, and then we're going to get the full Universal presentation at 3:45 p.m. to 5:30. And there should be an after party. Yeah, there's a big dinner party afterwards. So probably around 7 o'clock that night, we'll be doing our kind of wrap up of the Universal presentation. So that'll be a big one. And then that'll take us into 8:15 p.m. God, you know what? We're not going to be able to do a 7 p.m. stream because just at 8:15 is the Amazon and MGM Studios presentation. You know what we might have to do? We might have to do the Universal and Amazon together in one big stream at like 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
It's going to be a late night.
Especially if you're going to have to go to dinner and everything or lunch.
Yeah.
Or...
It's going to be a late night. So, but yeah, but we'll be covering a double fister. We're going to be doing the Universal and Amazon MGM in one big stream. So that'll be a big one. That wraps up Wednesday. That leads us into the final day. That is Thursday. And Thursday, we are going to have, I believe it's Disney's?
Yeah, it's Paramount and Disney.
Right. Paramount at 10 a.m. to 11:30. That's when the big Paramount presentation is. So they're doing a shorter one this year. They're doing an hour and a half. Ray, I know you always like
I love
Paramount's presentations.
Yeah, hopefully that guy didn't get fired.
And then what we'll probably do, I don't think we'll have time to do a live stream of Paramount because then the Disney one starts at 2:30. So we'll probably have to double up on Paramount and Disney, I'm guessing, to do that. And that'll go till 4:30. And then I don't know if we're going to go to the big screen achievement awards. This year they're honoring Star of the Year Glenn Powell, Distinguished Decade of Achievement Channing Tatum, Action Star of the Year Anna de Armas.
That one's going to be packed then.
CinemaCon Vanguard Award to Lindsay Lohan, Career Achievement in Comedy Cheech and Chong, Next Generation Award David Johnson, Rising Star Madeline McGraw, I don't know who that is off the top of my head, and then Star of Tomorrow Ben Wang, and that will then wrap up CinemaCon. Except we'll then probably go to the after party. And that'll wrap up CinemaCon. So this thing is packed. It's going to be a wild time. We're excited about it. What you got anything on there, Ray, that you're particularly excited about?
Hopefully the chance of maybe Ballerina playing. I'm just wondering if Warner Brothers is going to screen something. What are they going to screen? And Thunderbolts. I'm hoping we get at least a good chunk of Thunderbolts just to see the how the movie's gonna like the theme or like the feeling because right now the trailers make it look super serious, but you got like a guy flying in the air.
You think the Thunderbolts trailer looks super serious?
I mean the tone. It's not bright. It's not
it's not bright. No,
as in the coloring, it looks more like the Dark Knight-ish. You know how everything's kind of like. Right. That's what I meant. But yeah, the Thunderbolts looks fun, but I meant like the tone of it seems very
pretty heavy.
Yeah.
People are being turned to shadows.
I think there's so many jokes and so much humor in the trailer. I don't think it's going to be a dark tone.
Well, that's
the color palette.
You know how some people are broken inside sometimes,
no,
but they come out with a smile on their face.
I actually think it's going to be like that nice James Gunn. Like if you look at Guardians 3, like there's definitely a dark tone to that, but it's not a depressing movie. So I think that's how they're going to, with that light and the cynicalness, the cynicism and all that, like it'll come through comedy. Because you got people being turned to shadows, for goodness sake.
And a lot of the stuff is not even movie related. I want to see what they talk about, how the movie theater stuff has changed and what they're going to try to.
Well, there'll be other panels for that if you decide to go to those other panels.
Yeah, what they're going to try to do in order to combat. No, usually the first guy, the CinemaCon guy, the main guy who comes out at first.
Yeah, during the intro,
he usually kind of brushes over.
Like yeah,
I wonder if he'll acknowledge anything like any of.
They always do every year.
Okay.
Yeah, they do every year, so I'm not really surprised about that. Now, there are gaps in the schedule. When you go through the schedule, you see there are gaps. Those gaps are probably there for surprise screenings. Again, nothing guarantees we're going to get more screenings other than How to Train Your Dragon. That might be it. But every year there's been at least one or two surprise ones. So we'll see if there are this year, and if so, which ones they are. So guys, keep your guys' eyes open for it. And what are you excited about? I mean, listen, forget the full screenings. I'm just excited to get our first 10, 15, 20, 30-minute looks at a whole bunch of different movies that I'm excited about. So definitely make sure you're following us next week. It's not going to be our regular schedule, obviously. We're going to have a lot of content coming, so keep your guys' eyes open for us next week. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.